Hello and welcome to the Meet the Teacher presentation for Primary 6 this year. And I am Miss Campbell, the class teacher, and I will talk you through the presentation today. So as I said, I am Miss Campbell and I am your child's teacher this year. And then we also have in the classroom Mrs. Robinson, who is our pupil support assistant. And she knows the class really well as she worked with them last year in Primary 5. So she's a great asset for us to have in the classroom. So unfortunately, with coronavirus regulations still in place, communication is still primarily going to be done through the office by email, and then if necessary we can arrange a follow-up phone conversation. So I've just emailed the office through the usual admin email address, and then if you want to kind of see a little bit more of what we're doing in the classroom, I have my own Twitter, so you can follow me on there, and I will be sharing kind of wee pictures every so often of some of the things that we're getting up to in Primary 6 this year. So across Rathdrum Primary School, we have a few ways that we can recognise great behaviour and kind of positive attitude towards learning. So that's our vision vouchers that we award to anyone that's kind of shown curiosity in their learning or creativity, or engage their community as part of our school vision of a curious, creative community. There's also positive note home, lots of positive praise in the classroom, and then every week at assembly, a star pupil is awarded. Rathdrum Primary School also has a relationships policy that looks at a restorative approach to kind of helping to build and maintain relationships throughout school, which then helps us to support a repair of those relationships if there's an incident that happens in school, and it's to kind of help support children to take responsibility for their own actions and have empathy towards someone else that they may have wronged or harmed. So we do it through like teaching them about emotions and understanding their feelings and what causes them to have these emotions. And then if something does happen, having a restorative conversation and then clear consequences. And we've got an example here of the kind of questions that you would ask during the restorative conversation. So kind of asking the child like what's happened and what were they thinking at the time, and then what are they thinking about it now, and then finally kind of coming to a decision on what they need to do to make it right. Just a little bit of kind of housekeeping for this year. So water bottles, if you want water in school, then you can bring a water bottle every day. Only water, please, and these can now be refilled at school if required. Stationery as well. Stationery is available at school, and no one needs to be bringing their own pencil case or anything. Like, we have everything that you would need for the day anyway, but you can bring your own pencil case if you prefer. You just need to make sure that anything you're bringing from home needs to only be used by yourself, just for coronavirus infection control. Our PE days are Mondays and Thursdays, and PE is still being delivered outside at the moment, so people should just come dressed for PE outside, as we're still not changing or anything at school. And then because, again, just of coronavirus infection control, we're spending still a lot of time outside, so making sure that you've got a jacket and footwear that's suitable for spending time outdoors in any kind of weather condition, and perhaps if you think you might need a change of clothes, even just a small thing in their bag just in case. And then kind of for all of these points, any items that you're bringing in from home, just making sure they're named, as lots of people have kind of similar things and everything can get a little bit mixed up at school. For this half of the presentation, I'm just going to talk you through some of the things we're doing in literacy and numeracy and health and well-being kind of in general and this term. So we're currently having a whole class novel approach to our reading this term. So we're reading Brightstorm, and then after each chapter we're doing like follow-up activities related to like prediction or inference or kind of characterization, and using altogether one text to learn and practice these skills. We're also using a whole class spelling approach, and spelling homework will be delivered in that way with kind of mild, spicy, hot words for you to choose from under one sound that the whole class will be focusing on each week. We also have a cursive handwriting expectation for primary 6, so joining our handwriting using the cursive approach, and talk partners, so making sure that we're having kind of discussions with someone in class about our answers and our learning as kind of part of the lesson. And then a whole class reading approach with ERIC time, so that's everybody reading in class, just to create a culture of reading in the classroom. For numeracy this year, we're looking at different mental math strategies and bringing our mathematical thinking a bit more into the abstract, although obviously support with manipulatives like cubes and drawings and stuff are obviously okay to use for anyone that needs them. And we're doing that through Big Maths Beat That tests, which I will show you an example of in a second, and click tests, which are regular tests that we just do every week. And the aim is, to beat your own score. It's not kind of worrying about what the person next to you or your friend was doing. It's just about improving on your own score with those. And then this term we're having a focus on place value as our numeracy topic, and shape and tessellation as our maths topic. So this is an example of one of the Big Maths Beat That click tests. So this focuses more on kind of a holistic approach to different mathematical skills, so like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, as well as kind of decimals and factors of and fact families, compared to our Learn It's, which just kind of focuses on addition and multiplication and is done under timed conditions. So they have 100 seconds to try and do as many as they can, and then the aim is to beat that score every week. For health and wellbeing this term, our PE focuses on field games, so looking first of all at rugby and then hockey and then finally football. Ratho Primary School is a rights respecting school, so we're working on developing our class charter, and through that looking at the UN Convention for the Rights of the Child, and how we can support those rights in our classroom and take responsibility for upholding them for ourselves and for others in the class. Our building resilience focus for this term is take a moment, so it's looking at things that might cause you stress and then giving you strategies to help you overcome that stress and realize that moments of stress are a normal part of life and can sometimes be helpful in helping you overcome a challenge. We will also be focusing on RSHP in term 3 this year, and that's our relationships, sexual health and parenthood topic. Primary 3 to 7 classes also have STEM every week with Mrs. Dixon. So STEM is science, technology, engineering and maths, and this helps children develop skills such as teamwork, communication, critical thinking, creativity, resilience and problem solving. And there's lots of hands-on kind of science activities. And then finally, a point about homework. So homework is going to be posted on our class Teams page. Everyone should have been added to that now. Homework will only go out on full weeks, so not on short weeks or the week before a holiday, and it will be assigned on a Monday for the following Monday. All children will be given a home learning jotter this week, and that is to be kept at home for your home learning to be done in. And then it doesn't come back into school. Instead, just as it was last year, work that is to be marked will be submitted through Teams, and I'll be able to see it there. Thank you so much for listening to the presentation, and I'm looking forward to a great year with Primary 6.